said that Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he? Well, really, who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
No. Next, Joy's gonna say she's never heard of carbs.
So, Joy walked in all confident thinking it's just another normal day with her coffee and that smirk she always has, but she had no clue Greg Gutfeld was about to flip everything the second he came on. The mood changed fast. Joy tried to act calm, but Greg dropped that line about people hiding behind scripts and boom, you could see her face fall. The crowd went silent and Greg just kept going, pulling out her old words one by one, till Joy looked totally lost and everyone was like, wow, this is not ending well for her.
Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar's moo-moo. The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh wait, there she is. All right. She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every.
So Joy let out this weird little laugh that totally gave away how nervous she was, and you could see her gripping that coffee cup like it was her last hope. And then Greg just hit her with that savage line saying the problem isn't your opinions, Joy, it's that you act like they're facts. And boom, the whole room gasped. Her face froze, her eye roll failed, and she looked totally thrown off. Greg stayed super calm, just sitting there while every word hit harder than the last. Joy tried to talk back, but he wasn't letting her off easy. He even repeated her own comment right to her face, asking if she really believed it, and that silence after. Wow, it was brutal. No one jumped in to save her, and she just sat there stuck like the whole thing turned from talk show to total takedown in seconds.
This week, Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
It's a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country.
So Joy tried to pull herself together and started talking about respect, but Greg just nodded all calm and hit her with that line. Respect has to be earned, not demanded, and oh my, that one landed hard. The whole room went dead quiet, and you could see Joy getting all flustered, sweating a little, blinking fast, trying to keep it together while Greg just sat there chill, like he owned the place. He said he was just asking questions, but everyone knew those questions were cutting deep. Joy's voice started cracking, her fake smile looked painful, and her spark was totally gone. Greg wasn't even being rude, just real, and when he asked who holds you accountable, Joy, it was like her whole world froze. She couldn't even answer, and her co-hosts were just sitting there, awkward, not knowing what to do. Then Greg dropped one more hit, saying, "You say you speak for Americans, but do you even hear them?" And oof, that line finished it. The crowd gasped. Joy mumbled something weak, and Greg just gave that calm nod with sharp eyes. It was raw, tense, and honestly impossible to look away because you could feel this was one of those truth moments that change everything.
It's about the view. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth and when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're honest.
So Joy kept shifting around like she was trying to find a piece of control. She crossed and uncrossed her legs, fixed her mic, shuffled her notes like that would help, but everyone could see she was losing it, and Greg just sat there cool as ice with that little confident smirk that said he already knew how this was gonna end. Joy tried to throw one last punch, bringing up something Greg said before, but he brushed it off like, nah, nice try. But that doesn't erase your record, and that line hit her like a wave. The crowd started to murmur, and that sound, oh, it was brutal. It wasn't laughter, it was realization. Like everyone suddenly saw through the act. Then Greg leaned back and dropped the truth bomb saying, this isn't personal, Joy, it's just the truth, finally catching up to you, and boom, that room went silent. Her hands trembled as she grabbed her cards pretending to stay busy, but even those couldn't save her. Now you could see the fire in her eyes flickering out. She looked down, lost like her confidence just melted away. Greg didn't gloat, he didn't need to. He just sat there calm, peeling back her words layer by layer like he was revealing what's been hidden for years. Joy turned to the camera with that fake smile, trying to pull herself together, but her eyes gave it all away. They looked tired, sad, and defeated. Her voice came back soft, shaky. She said, I think we're done here, but it didn't sound like control. It sounded like someone giving up. Greg leaned back, nodding slowly, letting the silence do the talking. He didn't need to say another word. The damage was already done. The whole room felt it. Producers didn't even know whether to cut to break or not because everyone was frozen, watching the moment unfold. Joy sat there blinking slowly like she couldn't believe what just happened. The crowd didn't cheer, they didn't laugh, they just stared, unsure if they felt shock or sympathy. But one thing was clear, Greg had completely taken over the moment and Joy had never looked smaller on her own stage.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find my friends with a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideology.
So Joy tried to switch the topic, but it came out all awkward, and everyone could tell she was panicking. Greg stayed super calm, just smiled and said, changing the subject doesn't change the truth. Joy, and wow, that hit hard. She tried to talk, but her voice cracked, and one co-host patted her shoulder, making her look even more lost. Greg just sipped his mug while clips started blowing up online. People were laughing, saying Joy got humbled. Liv, and honestly, they weren't wrong when she finally said, we need to reset. It was already too late. Greg's quiet smile said it all, and you could see on her face she knew she'd just lost the moment right there live for everyone to see.
Out of some news, the feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for
our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently, the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Glad. Brains are small. But who's the dumbest one of all? True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? Perhaps it's Sonny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. Now The View could ask a mirror who's the dumbest one of all, but there's no way that glass doesn't.
It all started with that quiet, awkward silence that suddenly turned into a moment nobody could look away from. Every second was caught in perfect high definition as Joy tried to end the segment, but her voice kept tripping over itself like she couldn't find the words. Greg leaned in, calm and steady, and said the difference between us. Joy is, I don't pretend to be something I'm not, and that line hit her straight in the heart. Her eyes shimmered as she blinked fast, trying not to cry. The room went completely still, even the crew didn't move. Joy clutched the table, looking like she was holding on for dear life, while Greg just sat there letting the silence do the talking. And that silence was louder than anything he could have said. She turned slightly away from the camera, hoping to hide her face, but it was too late. The internet was already running wild clips everywhere, people saying it was like watching a lion get tamed by a house cat. Her co-hosts tried to change the subject, but the tension stayed thick till they finally cut to break backstage. Joy didn't speak, just sat there staring blankly while Greg walked out calm and cool, like nothing happened. The contrast was unreal. She looked like she'd been through a storm while he looked like he just left a meeting, and within minutes, headlines exploded. Greg Gutfeld silences, Joy Behar live on air, playing everywhere on repeat, turning one live moment into something Joy could never take back.
Terrible. Republican presidential candidate Tim Scott dropped by the Furry 5 earlier today. and I thought the U.S. had a distinct policy against torture. He took the opportunity to call them out over crap Joy Behar recently said about him, specifically that he doesn't get systemic racism, which is like saying Brian Stelter doesn't get Ben and Jerry's. But Joy Behar gets racism after all. She's been black on Halloween. Yeah. But Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. But that is convenient, right? It's like one of my aunts dies every time Brian Kilmeade wants.
People everywhere couldn't stop talking. Some said it was a much-needed reality check. Others thought Greg went too far. But everyone agreed it was powerful. The View's team tried hard to fix it, but nothing could erase Joy's cracked face and shaky voice. Clips of her blinking while Greg stayed calm spread like wildfire, turning into memes. Even her fans said they'd never seen her that shaken. She stayed quiet for days, calling it the worst day of her career while Greg was trending everywhere, calm, cool, and unbothered. He didn't insult her, just spoke the truth, and that truth hit harder than anything else. It wasn't just a bad moment. It was a wake-up call showing how calm truth can destroy fake confidence. Joy might recover, but that clip will follow her forever, because that was the day Greg Gutfeld silenced Joy Behar on her own show. If you like this kind of wild drama and truth bombs, then stay tuned, because Jacob Reports always brings the hottest stories and biggest moments. You don't want to miss what's coming next on Jacob Reports.